Courtesy of AIE News on Nigerian immigration history to South Africa.
I came to South Africa 2001.
We are all from Mimosa.
Hundreds of South Africans fled to Nigeria with Nigerian passport for refuge and studies.
Mimosa, military barrack.
South Africa, Mimosa International Hotel.
Mimosa, worldwide. Mimosa worldwide.
Right inside Hilbrow, Johannesburg.
When you come out from Mimosa, this is right. And another place after Mimosa was Mosler.
We are more than 300 members.
The Nigerian High Commission in Botswana issued hundreds of Nigerian passports to many South Africans who had fled their country.
We met in Mimosa 2010.
Why did the police close the building?
Money.
What is it that was attracting this police in this place?
What I tried them, when they see foreigners like Nigerians, they need money.
The 1976 Soweto uprising in South Africa triggered Nigeria to take up financial responsibility towards the education of black South Africans.
That time of apartheid time, they don't allow blacks to come to town. So we are almost hiding wherever we are.
Right, the profile that covers Nigerian immigration history to South Africa from the documentation of AIE TV News on State of the Nation's framework of immigration sociology, courtesy of African Image Expression. So, when you arrived here, why did you choose to be in Mimosa?
When I arrived in South Africa, the immediate time that I asked him, take me where I can find my brothers Nigerians. He traveled straight away to Mimosa and dropped me. Then when I look around, I see everybody there is an Igbo.
A trend that grew between 1994 and 2004 saw the migration of many Nigerian nationals to South Africa. 1994, the year that marks the end of apartheid in South Africa and opened up for international visitors after several years of sanction against the leading apostles of the South African apartheid policy. The Nationalist Party, which was led by General James Barry Monarch Hazard, the chief proprietor of internal dynamics of Afrikaner political mobilization and white supremacy in the then Republic of South Africa. This documentation could also be regarded as a cover that examines the size and characteristics of Nigeria and Nigerians in diaspora, the remittance they sent across nations through business exchange, which eventually become the wonder that leaves threats to many nationalities as they wonder about the secret of their progress.
My name is Frank Modesty. I came to this Mimosa International Hotel in 1996. Since 1996, I stayed to 1998. I moved to culture. It's a very nice place, like the ugly stories that we had here. But at the same time, we thank God for today, for us to be alive, because many of our brothers end up here. They couldn't go anywhere. Yeah, when I came here, it was quite a rough place, if I can put it that way. That you cannot even walk to Spa. Spa is just 2 streets away. Safari is behind, you cannot walk to Safari because of the tortoise. People they call tortoise. There was a lot of killing and police brutality. I can remember Ukamrama was stabbed right behind me here. That is why his name is Ukamrama. Just here. He was stabbed right here. Ambulance came and they revived him. But he survived. So it was like war front when we came here.
Ruled by a strong armed group of Nigerians called the Task Force in the Mimosa building, ironically sharing the same name with cracked ex-APS. Lives were wasted, destinies were diverted, imaginary hell was president. Overwhelming evidence of wickedness was an inquest that defiled the principles of this armed group.
One of our brothers died in the Mimosa here from our mama. By then, we have Nigerian association that guide all the Nigerians in Johannesburg, which led by Austin Okejo, who is now a lawyer. So the reason why we started this Mimosa was because when someone passed away in Johannesburg, the Nigerian Association will take care of the person, the body to repatriate the body to Nigeria. And every hotel paid 50 rand then. But when we find out that so many people that we paid the money was not repatriated to Nigeria, their body was still remaining. So we inquired at Nigerian consulate, and they told us the cost of transporting a body to Nigeria was 4,000. Then we decided that 4,000, we contribute over 8,000 from Mimosa, not other hotels. Only us contribute over 8,000. So we decided to tell them that we should take this body by ourselves to repatriate this body to Nigeria. It was a hell of war. They said no, that the Nigerian Association must do that. We said no, but we have about 6 cops that is already in mortuary for over a period of time that is not repatriated. Then they came here. If you can watch this gate here, that was Kappa. So we put Austin inside and his group and lock the gate until they agree to allow us to repatriate that our brother from Mimosa. After that, the Mimosa Association started. We had a meeting. When somebody is arrested, we come up with contribution to help him. When someone is sick among us, we contribute money to take the person to hospital and all those things. We start from the organization called Mimosa International. All over the world, all the places Nigerian people from Mimosa are, they belong to this association. We have over 300 to 400 members worldwide who live this from 1996 to up to date.
As the history of the Republic of South Africa cannot be told without the story of Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, so is the history of Nigerians in South Africa cannot be told without the story of those Nigerian immigrants who arrived, lived, and experienced the face, the beauty, and the ugliness of Hilbrow from Mimosa International Hotel.
I arrived in this country the 14th of January 1996. As my arrival, most of the old people that were here, people like Obiome here, those are our masters, you know, Charlie, all kinds. Some other guys, IG Jordan, which is in Canada. At that time, if you come downstairs, they say to you, you are not allowed to come to the park. You're supposed to be upstairs. Downstairs, yes, for the big boy. Now, I come up with the idea that we're supposed to have an association and a union that will guide us. And one of the old guys said to me, what will be our aim of forming the union? I said to him, at least to maintain peace and order, so that we will know each other if there is a problem. And one of the brother then, standing side, I've forgotten the room number, I think it's 3rd floor. We had a first meeting by his house. And that is how we agreed that we are going to form the association. And most of the old guys were afraid. They said to me, then who is going to be the chairman? I said to them, one of the old guys can be the chairman. They said no. Then in the name of Christendom, he said he will assume the seat if I will accept to be the task force chairman. Then him was elected the first chairman of the Mimosa Association. Then my very self, I was elected the first chairman task force Mimosa. That is how Mimosa Association started. Those days, we used to have an attack from police, SAPS. When they come here, they say, oh, where's your papers? Where's your... And when you say to them, oh, sorry, sir, they would think that, sorry, sir, you're telling you, asking them, I beg your pardon. They will beat hell out of you.
people, all the forces in South Africa, they came to my house. They were asking me whether I have drugs in my house, and they started, checking on my papers and all whatnot. The intimidation that night was terrible.
Indeed, this place was another war with a different government in another government.
Those guys are clever. Believe me, they are very clever. Everything is nice. They fix some cell phones, get cars from the streets, go to them. They get good.
Right here we have Obiajoro, who was the security in this building when it was existing. Mr. Obiajoro, please tell us exactly your experience here. You were the security in this building when it was existing. The world want to know, Nigerians in diaspora as well in South Africa, want to know what really happened here.
No, Mimosa was a very good place, but it was a bad area, dangerous area. So we are staying here. So me, I came to this country November 11, 2000. So when I was sleeping outside up here Mimosa, give me some start working security, and I started working security downstairs with Chipotle. We have 4 guys working security, but the 2 people are medical, they are dead. So that's my experience here.
Okay, a lot of people were being shot dead. Then a lot of people died, like mysteriously. You could just wake up and see that this guy was just stabbed right there, or was just killed right there. Yes, I remember one Mr. Ababio that died right here. They shot him.
Ababio died by Mimosa, front of Mimosa.
Yes.
Singapore.
Yes. So can you brief us a little bit? Give us more details about all those deaths and killings and what?
No, Mimosa, we are hustling. Everybody was hustling, looking for money because everywhere was hard. Understand? So I was with Ababio. We were staying here. We want to eat food. After eat food finish, on our way going house like this, white guy shot him. He's gone. So we rushed him to hospital. He just died of that.
Mimosa International Hotel was the first building to accommodate several Nigerian immigrants who arrived in South Africa in the early 90s to 2000 for its closure by the Ministry of SAPS in 2001.
In 1999, the authorities embarked on Operation Crackdown, aimed at combating organized and violent crime. Hilbrow, as a crime hotspot, was the main target of cleanup operations. In a huge show of force, cordon search and seizure operations were launched against the vice dens of Hilbrow. The army and police targeted residential hotels where Nigerians stayed. Thousands of illegal immigrants were arrested and deported.
Tired now because the Nigerians don't do anything to us. If they don't want to lock them up, they take money and then say, give me 50 rand first.
They will tell you to lie down. Even though you are wearing your jacket, even though you are wearing white, they will tell you to lie down in the water.
The immigration officer told him to take me outside to bring my wife because my wife is working. She's working. She came to see me after applying for a resident permit.
I believe the South African police are very good, but some of them are corrupt.
Closure of this building was planned in less than 48 hours by the members of SAPS and the military after months of intensive investigation. Just like a movie set, the building was surrounded as policemen were dropped by helicopters onto the roof of the building, while others charged in from the ground floor.
In late November 2001, the Mimosa Hotel was raided again. This time, the state seized the property as so-called proceeds of crime.
Was there. It was too horrible. When you go out of this environment, you hear a lot of shooting. Oh, some of our brothers then, they have shops in town. Some are dealing on fruits, some are shoe menders, some are tailors, some are motor mechanic. Then, few of us that are here, some are they cook food. This on our African Nigerian recipe they sell. So the reason why we choose to stay intact or to stay in one place, then it's difficult, one, also for you to get renters from our flats. You know, Mimosa is a hotel. Though initially it was a place where the government keep old age people before either Italian or Portuguese people rented it on lease and converted it to a hotel. And also, even there we had a kitchen where we normally get food, and it's quite cheap. A plate of food then was like 5 rand. So that was the major reason why we stick here, we stay together, and we are united to avoid being harassed by authority and as well South African descent.
This was in the earliest morning of post-apartheid government, when the fear of being killed as a foreign individual in your own place of residence birthed the idea of all Nigerians in one building.
Most of the times when we want to come to the park here, just to relax, we normally come in numbers and we see ourselves as brothers. Though we never arrived here at the same time, but why we normally come into the park for us to be safe. Because you know, when we're in group, it will be very difficult for intruders to attack. They used to be afraid. Also because, you know, some of our brothers are heavy. Their stature quite bigger than the people of the local that were born here. So most of the times when they see us in group, they will even mingle with us because this is a public place.
Alright, the ties between Nigeria and South Africa dated back in 1960, immediately after Nigerian independence from the British colonial rule. But the two countries only managed to establish a diplomatic relationship 2 months before the election that brought Nelson Mandela into power as the first democratic president of the republic.
I came to South Africa 2001. When I arrived South Africa, the first place the tribesman took me is to Mimosa, where I can find my brothers, Nigerians. Then I landed, there's a lot of people. Then I started wondering, what are they doing here? They say this is a place that is safe for Nigerians for now. Then it was very, very cold by then. When Mimosa was closed, they chased everybody away from Mimosa. Our people, some of them went to Europe, some of them went to America, Canada, all over the world. Last year, God used one man from our Mimosa called Jumbo to reform the union again. Then we come together again. Now we come together. I'm the vice chairman of the association now. The chairman then is in the west. After the west comes Chijoke. After Chijoke is I, Abu, Emeka Eta, person that brought me to South Africa. I'm thanking all of them. So Mimosa is a very good place that brought us up. We cannot forget Mimosa. To South Africa, there's no job. So everybody is doing whatever he can do to survive. Some are selling fruits, some are selling second-hand clothes, some are doing whatever. And another thing you should understand is that we foreigners in South Africa are the ones that are targeted. So we are not coming outside. You remember that time of apartheid time, they don't allow blacks to come to town. So we are almost hiding wherever we are. So what they are saying is not true. We are the true Nigerians. We work hard. Everything we have, we work hard to get it.
All the shops in this street or in this area, this houses belongs to Nigerians. We are home business people. We learned it from our parents back there in Nigeria, and that is what we get here in South Africa. I come in here in 1998, and I started business in 1999. I started from second-hand clothes before I rent shop. As you can see, I'm into jewelry. So I do import it from China to South Africa.
Upon arrival here, most of us discovered that to get a white-collar job is as hard as putting a man on the moon. I'm sorry to say that most of us experience a kind of unfair treatment, for the indigenous. And if you are qualified for any job, they will ask you to bring this paper and that paper. They will apply stringent measures. For you to get a job would be very difficult. Like myself, when I came, I applied so many places, but I was told to bring my permanent residence and things like that. You will discover that it is very, very impossible for someone who just arrived in the country to get a permanent residence. So when we looked left and right, there was nothing we could do. So we opted to doing business like this.
All right, unveiling the bilateral and diplomatic relationship between Nigeria and South Africa. Let us go back to the beginning. The massacre of anti-apartheid protesters in Sharpeville by the then South African police in 1960 got the Nigerians and Nigerian government in front line on a leading role of supporting the Black Liberation Movement in the entire Southern African region, including ANC, African National Congress, against the apartheid government.
We Nigerians, we love you people of South Africa. We were with you, during the time of apartheid. Yeah.
In 1963, the Nigerians and Nigerian political godfathers played a pivotal role in establishing the UN Special Squad against the then South African apartheid government, and also chaired the committee that oversaw the implementation of international sanctions against the Nationalist Party for the release of the then South African political prisoner, Nelson Mandela. The 1976 Soweto uprising in South Africa triggered Nigeria to pick up financial responsibility towards the education of black South Africans by taxing each and every Nigerian student to give their financial contributions in all schools. This was the time when the Nigerian musician Sonny Okosin released the hit song Fire in Soweto against the apartheid government.
I remember when I was young, I used to pay 1 kobo Nigerian currency during the apartheid period. It's just for my brothers here in South Africa. We were forced to pay it. During those days, I happened to lose my money. I lost it. And then I was beaten up by our headmaster. I had to rush back home to collect another 1 kobo while Mandela was launched.
At this point, the Nigerian High Commission in Botswana issued hundreds of Nigerian passports to many South Africans who had fled their country, while the Nigerian civil servants contributed portions of their salaries to the South African Relief Fund in support of the anti-apartheid government, which was popularly known as Mandela tax.
My parents were even paying 10% survival levy, Survival levy then is like a compulsory tax for all Nigerian civil servants. When they pay your salary, automatically they deduct income tax. Survival levy is the next one to be deducted, and you do it with pleasure. You don't ask question because you want apartheid to be raised on the surface of the continent. We did that based on principle, not to be paid back. We just need kind gesture from our fellow South Africans.
Within this period, hundreds of South Africans fled to Nigeria with Nigerian passport for refugee and studies, many of whom went on to occupy key positions in government, private sectors and academia in the post-apartheid South Africa. A lot of South Africans and other locals are making a statement that Hilbrow is dangerous because of Nigeria.
Hilbrow are dirty because of Nigeria.
They think they own the world or they own the country or something.
They're selling drugs to our brothers and they're promoting crime.
They must go home. We don't want them here.
These foreigners rich. What do you have to say about that?
I will see that as it's not the truth, because when we came here, like I said, when we arrived here, this place is one of the hottest spots in the sense, even we as the foreigners are being targeted because they use all kind of names, they call us whatever. That kind of thing. So the place has been in that form before we came, because it's not like we came and the city changed. No, the city has been a very dangerous place because there were a lot of homeless people of South African descent.
Having adopted the role of a leader, father in the South African apartheid struggle, Nigeria was regarded by many as the hub for African liberation movement, the Lord Mayor and political godfather of African liberation struggle. As the oppression to see the end of apartheid in South Africa continued to spread across Africa, and Nigeria being in the forefront of this struggle, boycotted the Commonwealth and Olympic Games, including the nationalization of the British petroleum asset in 1979. In order to support the liberation of black movement in the Southern African nations, Nigeria participated in meetings of decision-making of frontline states of Southern Africa, which includes Angola, Botswana, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, and Zambia from 1976, and played the most important role in securing the independence of Namibia in 1990. An estimate of $61 billion was revealed to be provided by Nigeria to support the end of apartheid from 1960 to 1995.
Lengthy negotiations resulted in a non-racial constitution and mostly peaceful elections in 1994.
I wish to put it plainly that the government has taken a firm decision to release Mr. Mandela unconditionally.
Millions of black people voted for the first time endorsing the African National Congress and Nelson Mandela as president.
At this juncture, what is the hope, the position and the fate of an average and ordinary Nigerian citizen living in South Africa?
This city or this area, which named Tana Jaguar, has been a very hot spot. They can also see Texas, and you know, in South Africa, most of the places the Texas are operating, it used to be violent. Yes.
Okay, 1994 saw the end of apartheid in South Africa when Nelson Mandela took over office, and that brought about the arrival of many foreigners and foreign investors in South Africa.
And the Mimosa today. I am a one oh soldiers. They are South Africa. My body is South Africa. I was very, very much happy.
I know you got Mimosa worldwide. And then I put up at how about you know, where bag and you know, where bag now.
Mimosa military barrack. Shot all the first, the only university. The only university that every one of us have attended. The best university. And the other patron at this military camp, University of Mimosa, Johannesburg. I went special training and discipline and respect and love. We separated 2003. We met in Mimosa 2003. And in 2022, one of our members, Jumbo, a mayor assembled, a reform of the Mimosa worldwide. We are very, very grateful. So many of us never see ourselves for the past 23 years. We are just seeing ourselves today. we are happy. There was a brother who fly all the way from Japan just to come and see us.
Oh my God, this event can do ever all the way from Japan, and thank God that I made it. Mimosa is our own. Obro like a social club or whatever, or everybody know we grew, everybody know we did. So it's like a family. Also, when I school, like secondary school, and then we class of 91, 92, put against when I'm most. But we are all from the most.
So, in the guy in the Nigeria, Mandaka America, Mandaka Africa, had the Amana Chineke, no Ebola. But God bless the whole Mimosa worldwide, all over the world. God bless South Africa.
Right, courtesy of AIE News on Nigerian immigration history to South Africa. The story of Nigerians that arrived and lived in Mimosa International Hotel, a building that is located in Hilbrow, one of the most feared and hazardous areas in the inner city suburb of Johannesburg, is our cover in this episode. Let's leave it here for now. Nelson C. Akachukwu.